You arrive in Sydney and the first thing that hits you is the light. It's different here. Sharper somehow. Cleaner. As if someone's turned up the brightness on the world. The air too. It smells of salt and eucalyptus. A curious combination that screams Australia. You step off the plane, blink a bit and think, right, this is it then. There's an immediate sense that you're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. This place feels instantly, undeniably, itself. And that self seems rather pleased with its lot in life, thank you very much. Then there's the water. Good heavens, the water, it's everywhere. Sydney Harbor isn't just a harbor, it's a vast, sprawling, glittering expanse that pokes its fingers into every nook and cranny of the city. Ferries buzz across it like happy water beetles. Sailboats lean into the breeze, their white sails brilliant against the impossibly blue sky. You can't escape the water in Sydney. It defines the place. It dictates the views. It probably influences the local mood, which seems to be permanently set to sunny with a chance of spectacular. The city itself unfolds around this magnificent waterway. It's a place that seems to have been designed with postcards in mind. Every turn reveals another view that makes you reach for your camera. And impressed, I certainly was. And then you see it. The Sydney Opera House. It's one of those buildings you've seen a million times, in photos, on television, on tea towels. You think you know it, but you don't, not really. Seeing it in person is something else entirely. It sits there at Bennelong Point, all gleaming white sails or perhaps giant prehistoric shells depending on your angle and imagination. It's smaller than I expected from some angles and then surprisingly massive from others. It's a trick of the eye, a marvel of geometry. It just sort of. The story behind its creation is almost as dramatic as its design. Danish architect Jorn Utzon won a competition, then things got complicated. Budgets blew out, timelines stretched, there were arguments. He even left the project before it was finished. But somehow, through all the chaos and controversy, this extraordinary structure emerged. It's a testament to a rather bold vision, and perhaps a healthy dose of Australian stubbornness. Walking around it is an experience in itself. You get up close and see the famous tiles, over 1 million of them, they say, shimmering in the sunlight. It's more than just an opera house, of course, it's a building that makes you smile. Then there's the other icon, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, affectionately known as the Coat Hanger, and you can see why. It's a massive arch of steel, grey and imposing, straddling the harbour. It's not as delicate as the Opera House. This is a bridge that means business. It carries trains, cars, bicycles, and pedestrians. It's a workhorse. But it's also a thing of beauty, in its own rugged way. It dominates the skyline, a constant presence. Now some bright spark decided it would be a good idea to let people climb it. My first thought was, are you mad? You get kitted out in a gray jumpsuit, you're clipped onto a safety line, and then you start walking. Up and up. The wind whistles around you. The city spreads out below like a giant map. It's exhilarating, it's terrifying, it's unforgettable. From the very top you can see for miles. The Opera House looks like a toy from up there. The ferries are tiny specks. The blue mountains shimmer in the distance. You get a real sense of the city's scale and the harbor's magnificence. It's a perspective you can't get from anywhere else. It's got soul. You can't go to Sydney and not go to Bondi Beach. It's practically a law. Bondi. The name itself conjures images of sun-kissed surfers, golden sand, and crashing waves. And guess what? It's pretty much exactly like that. It's a wide, curving crescent of sand, pounded by the Pacific Ocean. The water is a startling shade of turquoise, even on a cloudy day. It's busy, it's vibrant, it's undeniably, iconically Australian. The beach is a hive of activity, surfers of course, dozens of them, bobbing in the water, waiting for the perfect wave. Some are incredibly skilled, others, well, they provide a bit of light entertainment. Then there are the swimmers, braving the waves in the flagged areas, and the sunbathers stretched out on towels soaking up the rays, and of course, the famous Bondi lifesavers in their red and yellow caps keeping a watchful eye on everyone. It's a whole ecosystem, this beach. The atmosphere is infectious. It's laid back, yet energetic. There's a constant soundtrack of crashing waves, seagulls, and happy chatter. The air smells of salt and sunscreen. It's a place where people come to play, to relax, to see, and be seen. Sometimes, even in a city as lovely as Sydney, you need a bit of green, a bit of peace and quiet, and Sydney, thankfully, delivers on that front too. The Royal Botanic Garden is a case in point. It's a huge, sprawling oasis of green, right on the edge of the harbor. And when I say right on the edge, I mean it. You can wander through lush gardens, past towering trees, and then, boom, there's the Opera House and the harbor bridge, perfectly framed by foliage. The gardens themselves are magnificent. Established in 1816, they're home to an incredible collection of plants from Australia and around the world. There are themed gardens like the Rose Garden and the Oriental Garden. There are vast lawns where people picnic or just lie in the sun. There are shady paths where you can escape the heat. It's meticulously maintained, yet it feels wild and natural in places. You can easily spend a whole day here just wandering and exploring, and it's free, which is always a bonus. Sydney has other green lungs too. Hyde Park, right in the heart of the CBD, is another lovely spot. These green spaces are essential. Section 6, The Rocks and Darling Harbour, where Old Sydney meets new fun. If you want a taste of Old Sydney, you head to the Rocks. This is where it all began. Or at least, where the European chapter of Sydney's story began. It's a historic precinct, nestled under the harbour bridge, full of narrow laneways, cobblestone streets, and beautifully preserved old buildings. Some of them date back to the earliest days of the colony. You can almost hear the echoes of the convicts, sailors, and early settlers who once walked these streets. It's wonderfully atmospheric. The Rocks is packed with history. There are old pubs claiming to be the oldest in Sydney, where you can imagine all sorts of shady deals going down in centuries past. There are little museums telling the stories of the area. Cadman's Cottage, one of the oldest surviving buildings in Sydney, sits quietly by the water. You can take guided tours, learn about the area's rough and tumble past, and maybe even hear a ghost story or two. It's a fascinating contrast to the modern city that has grown up around it. Then, just a short hop away, you have Darling Harbour. And this is a completely different kettle of fish. Darling Harbour is all modern, shiny, and purpose-built for entertainment. It's a pedestrian precinct wrapped around a sparkling waterway packed with attractions. The contrast between the Rocks and Darling Harbour is quite striking. They show the city's ability to preserve its past while embracing the future. Section 7, Echoes of the Past. Uncovering Sydney's rich tapestry. Sydney dazzles with its modern marvels and sunny beaches, but it's a city with a deep past. It's not all just shiny new skyscrapers and trendy cafes. There are layers of history here. Long before European ships sailed into the harbour, this land has been home to Indigenous Australians for tens of thousands of years. The Gadigal people of the Eora Nation are the traditional custodians of the Sydney Basin. Their connection to this land is profound and enduring. Learning about this heritage adds a new dimension to understanding Sydney. You start to see the landscape differently, to appreciate the significance of certain places, the names, the stories. There are rock carvings and ancient sites scattered throughout the region. Museums like the Australian Museum showcase Indigenous art and culture. It's a history that is sometimes painful, often overlooked, but vital to understanding Sydney. The more recent colonial history is also very present. From the arrival of the First Fleet in 1788, Sydney was a penal colony, a place of hardship, brutality, and survival. Explore this history at places like Hyde Park Barracks, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a sobering reminder of the city's tough beginnings, but it's also a story of transformation, of how a remote penal settlement grew into the vibrant metropolis it is today. Uncovering these threads of Sydney's past makes the city feel more real, more textured. Section 8, A City of Faces, the warmth and welcome of Sydney. A city, no matter how beautiful its buildings or stunning its scenery, is ultimately about its people. And the people of Sydney, or Sydney-siders as they're known, are a rather interesting bunch. My general impression, they're a pretty friendly lot. There's a certain laid-back confidence about them. Perhaps it comes from living in a place where the sun shines most of the time and the beach is never far away. They seem to take life in their stride, and they're usually up for a chat. You hear "good day" a lot, and no worries, there's an informality that's quite refreshing. People smile, they make eye contact. Now, I'm not saying every single person is a ray of sunshine. It's a big city, after all. There are bound to be a few grumps. But on the whole, there's a welcoming vibe. Whether you're asking for directions, ordering a coffee, or just striking up a conversation in a pub, you're likely to be met with a helpful attitude and a bit of good humor. It makes a difference. It makes you feel comfortable. Section 9, Why Sydney Shines Australia's Heavenly Harbour City. So, after all that, is Sydney really the heaven of Australia? Well, heaven is a big word, it sets a rather high bar. But I have to say, Sydney gives it a pretty good shot. It's got a combination of ingredients that's hard to beat. That stunning harbor for a start. It's the heart of the city, a constant source of beauty and activity. Then you've got those iconic landmarks, the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. Instantly recognizable symbols of a confident and creative nation. They don't disappoint. Then there are the beaches, Bondi, Manly, Coogee and countless others. Golden sand, sparkling water and a lifestyle that revolves around sun, surf and relaxation. It's an outdoor city, a place where people make the most of the glorious climate. And it's not just about the natural beauty, there's a vibrant city life too. Great food, fantastic coffee, bustling markets, world-class museums and a thriving arts scene. It's got history, it's got culture, it's got a buzz.